Hello, my name is Destiny Porter, and I am doing this Zoom on behalf of the Purposely Awakened magazine. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. So, can you please tell myself and the viewers who you are and what it is that you do?
Yes, ma'am. So my name is Tonio McKinley. I am the chairman and founder of Incisive Investments LLC Community Resource and Acquisitions Group, as well as a global product assistant for Macy's Incorporated.
Wow, that is a lot. That's amazing. And obviously, you're a very ambitious young man. So, what or who influenced you to become that way?
I would say I would have to give that credit to my parents just because that's the nature in which they groomed us as young men. And that's still how they are today, even though it's about time for retirement in regards to their career paths.
Absolutely understood. So, do you wish to continue this level of intensity in terms of your work?
Yes, I do. So my overall goal is for me to establish a company to the point where my younger brothers never have to work for any other corporation and they could be either business partners with myself or employees of me. So employees of mine. So that way in the future going forward, they basically have the financial freedom to be able to do whatever they want in regards to building generational wealth for their own families.
Absolutely. I love it. And so, how old are you again?
23.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome. That is amazing, especially to be so young. And I know, I guess it makes sense for us to be younger and like really grind it out while we're young. But it's also like because we have so much technology at our hands, you really don't see the drive and the passion anymore like you used to. So, for those, I guess, youth or younger people, what advice would you give them if they haven't found that ambition or that drive that they're waiting on?
The advice that I would give is find what makes you happy and do something in the realm of the things that you categorize your happiness. So, for instance, if you like make designing clothes, if you like making candles, if you like the scent of candles, why don't you start your own candle business?
Mm-hmm.
If you go in a store and something easily catches your attention, what's stopping you from doing that same specific thing? And either making a black owned business or making it a business in which someone of extreme youth can do the same thing as someone that was of 30 or 40 years of age.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I completely agree. I think sometimes, and maybe in the past, we've had this belief that we're too young to do this. And that, wisdom, it comes with age and time and things like that. But I do understand where you're coming from, where it's like age shouldn't matter, especially now understanding how important generational wealth is. So it's best to start, while we're young. And
Mhm.
so I really wanted to get into the business realm of things now. So please tell me more about what you do as a global product assistant at Macy's.
Okay, so my overall position entails for me to create contractual agreements with our vendors overseas. So some days I have to stay up to 8 or 9 o'clock p.m. communicating with them because when it's nighttime here, it's daytime there. So we kind of
Right.
operate on different schedules. I completely oversee the product life cycle from when it's just a small piece of fabric to the point where it becomes a full sweater or a full jean. And then I dictate which stores get however many SKUs, which means how many of which specific product goes to which specific store.
Got you. Wow, that's a lot of work.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
So, I did notice even on your Instagram, you have like this impeccable fashion sense. Is that what really, I guess, inspired you to get involved in this process?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I'd say my dad used to own his own clothing store when I was a child. So I
Mm-hmm.
got to see how he operated from a business standpoint
Right.
and also from a fashion standpoint. So when I was growing up, I did find a hobby within the fashion realm. However, once I got to college, the business acumen really started to kick in. So originally, I got into this realm just from the business side so I can learn the logistics and everything. But then I just paired two and two together and it just became a dream come true.
Yes, I like that. I like that a lot. So, you are also, from what I can see, a contributor to Forbes Culture, the culture. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, ma'am. So um, it's a program in which it it's a program that recruits people of color, elite people of color, people that are making an impact in whatever avenue of business or whatever industry that they're in. And we all come together to figure out specific ways to improve the community and
Mm.
how we as sole individuals and business entities can be impactful to each other, basically as a broader network. And we utilize whatever services that we currently partake in. So in my case, it would be me working for Macy's, utilizing what I know with Macy's to help Forbes for the Culture expand to different
Wow,
geographies.
that's amazing. I like that a lot. So, what type of opportunities and connections have you made since having that door open for you?
Well, since having that door open, I've connected with a lot of people within the New York Fashion Week realm. So that helps with me working with Macy's. That opens up a lot of doors for me in regards to the furtherment of my career.
Mm-hmm.
And in regards to my sole businesses, I've met a lot of attorneys, a lot of accountants, a lot of people that own marketing agencies. So with
Mm-hmm.
that being said, the affiliation allows us to connect with one another and utilize each other's services to build each other's businesses.
Nice. That's very nice. And I noticed too, you have a lot of pictures on your Instagram, a lot of professional pictures. And I was just thinking, like, do you style yourself? I know it's such a random thought, but I was really wondering that.
Yes, I do style myself. A lot of my close friends or people that I tend to surround myself with are creatives, whether
Mm.
that be photographers or they create their own clothing, and we basically just collaborate. So
Yes.
something that I do want to speak on, I do also own, this is sole proprietorship. I don't really speak on it very much, but I do screen print for
Mm-hmm.
businesses. So t-shirt, jean fabric, tablecloths, anything of that nature. I can print whatever company's logo or whatever design they see fit onto those specific garments. So some of the
Nice.
clothing that you see with on my Instagram page, I've printed myself.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. And so have you ever, I mean, I know this is just so off, but have you ever thought of making like becoming a stylist as, one of your services or something that you do?
So I've been asked that quite frequently. However, it's a service that I would like to provide without having to be compensated for it. I'm the type of person that I
Mhm.
love fashion so much that if someone asks me to style them or asks my specific opinion on a specific outfit or a specific piece of clothing, I would give them my honest opinion in regards to it and figure out how we can create an entire wardrobe from that one outfit.
Got you. Understood. Now, I would like to ask because I mean, obviously, in men's fashion, you're awesome. Now, do you feel that you are confident enough to style a woman?
Yes, ma'am, I do. So a large portion of my friend group are actually women.
Uh huh.
And in regards to my position at Macy's, I'm actually on the Style and Co and Ideology team, which is their female-oriented brand. So I work specifically with the women's denim and jackets. So
Yeah.
I get to work with the buyers in regards to choosing what a specific piece of fabric or a specific jacket looks like before it's developed.
Wow, that is dope. I like that. I like that a lot. That's awesome. Okay, so away from the deviation, so how do you plan, or rather, how do you feel one could utilize the opportunity that you have at Forbes to really make a way for themselves?
I would say utilize your connections to the best of your ability because if you deter one specific person, that person could be the person that could have propelled your career. So never burn
Mhm.
a bridge, especially if you'd have to cross it again. That's something that my parents always tell me. So my biggest thing would be utilize your connections and make sure that once you do utilize those specific connections, you maintain that friendship relationship moving forward just because it could lead to long-term partnerships and development in regards to your own personal brand.
Absolutely, and I know with all of these business connections that you have, do you ever find it or have you ever found it difficult to network, or is that just something that naturally came along with the process for you?
So I don't find it difficult to network at all. To be honest with you, I find it very difficult working from home right now because I'm a very
Mm-hmm.
people-oriented person and I like to have face-to-face human interaction.
Yeah.
And so when I get around people, I can typically relate to the energy in which they're giving off and figure out a way for us both to
Mm-hmm.
come to mutual ground or come to a collective agreement in regards to what we want to do.
Absolutely. That makes sense. I can see that being difficult during this time. And hopefully soon, hopefully we'll be able to get back into like our actual business realms and have those face-to-face interactions.
Hmm.
But another one of your major accomplishments, which you mentioned, is being the chairman and founder of Incisive Investments. Now tell me, what made you want to open up and create your own investment platform?
Okay, so when I was in college, there was a young man in one of my classes, and we were studying together in the library. And I was talking to him about building generational wealth and being able to dabble into something that people of color strayed away from for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he initiated the conversation and explained to me that he made $2,000 in a day from investing in stocks. And
Mm-hmm.
so that really like piqued my curiosity because me being a businessman, thinking about what you could do with that $2,000 once you made it. And
Mm-hmm.
so he gave me one of his books in which for me to read. And he never asked for it back, and the class ended. So when I tried to give it to him, I could never give him the book back.
Mm-hmm.
And I started dabbling into buying and selling common stock, which was probably around a year or two in regards to time frame. And so once I graduated from school, I wanted to start dabbling into the trading aspect because buying and selling and then trading stock is totally different. So what I
Mm-hmm.
currently do right now is stock options, which comes with an insane amount of risk if you don't strategically pick your trades. But
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, since a lot of our specific people can't necessarily utilize these platforms to the best of their ability because they were never informed of how to do it, I thought that I would utilize the knowledge that I've gained up until this point and teach other people to do the same thing. So
Nice.
I'm not legally allowed to give financial advice, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
allowed to provide you with the resources that taught me. So the overall platform is a platform that gives people the overall resources in order to learn how to buy, sell, and trade on the New York Stock Exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So in totality, up until this point, within the month of January, the overall group has made a collective of $10,000 for people that just began to trade.
Nice. I like it. And so I know a lot of people desire to get involved in stocks and trading and things like that, but they might feel that it's a lot of reading or it's too much work or it's just too complicated. What would you tell those people?
Okay, so in order to reap the rewards that come from it, the first step that I always inform people that they need to take is research first,
Mm-hmm.
risk is second, and then reward and return is last. So the
Mm-hmm.
risk being second primarily because once you do the research, you have to come out of your shell to be able to take the risk of making your first trade, to be able to understand exactly what you did right and what you did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say research because if you don't want to read, if you want to hide something from someone, the first place that you would put it is in a book. And I feel like us
Period.
having electronics and phones right now really make us stray away from that avenue. But if
Mm-hmm.
we knew how much power came from reading books, then we will be a lot more successful in our individual endeavors.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And so also for those people, because I know even for me personally, I haven't been in the position where I would want to invest, but I think about it, I'm like, I don't have enough money, or I feel like maybe I should have a large lump sum
Mm-hmm.
to immediately invest
Mm-hmm.
and to be able to see the profit. So what does that process look like? Is there a way for you to invest just a little bit and then I guess kind of see a benefit from there?
Okay. So I'll give you background on how much I started with and how much I was taught to start with. So my first initial investment was like $130.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say my first trade, I made anywhere between $58 and $61, somewhere in that range. So I was happy about that because small returns also matter as well as big returns. And I feel
Right.
like a large amount of firms that currently speak on them creating trading platforms and teaching people how to trade, they only post the good things. So you also have to initiate the thought that you can lose money as well. So I would say that you begin with anywhere between 150 and 250. 250
Mhm.
is what I was recommended to start with from my mentor. And the reason being, you only trade with 10% of your account the first time. So
Mhm.
that way, when you lose money, you still have a large sum of your account left over for you to still recuperate your losses.
Right. I like that. That's very smart. Very smart. And so thank you for all that information. First of all, that's a lot. I appreciate that. And I think that it could be very useful
Mhm.
for people in our age bracket to really begin to understand it, even younger people if they don't have the
Mhm.
resources or the understanding. So I
Mhm.
appreciate you for even wanting to create a platform like that.
Mhm.
And so it looks to me like with all of these contributions to your career, it seems to be a part of a bigger picture. And so, what is your plan? Well, was your plan always to move this strategically, or did things just kind of fall in line for you this way?
So I've always been taught to think 4 steps ahead, just because if you think 2 steps ahead, you can take 3 steps back. So thinking those extra 2 steps can help you refrain from taking those additional 2 steps back. But in regards to the endeavors that I'm currently partaking in outside of my full-time career and me screen printing, I never initially thought that they would happen in the time in which they did. However, success comes when opportunity meets preparation. That is
Mhm.
the code that I live by. So as long as you prepare for anything and make sure you're always keeping hindsight of your actions, it'll lead you to what you are promised to have.
Absolutely. I like that. So, what is the ultimate bigger picture for you?
Um, so I want to utilize the platforms in which I've traveled down and traveled through
Mhm.
to teach the younger community financial literacy,
Mhm.
because that's something that they don't teach in school. They don't teach you about money in school. They don't teach you how to budget your finances. And more than anything, they don't teach you about taxes. And taxes rule the United States, as we can all tell, especially with what's going on in the news currently. So being able to teach the younger generation how to balance a checkbook, how
Mhm.
to utilize their credit score to buy land or to buy the things that they need that will help them significantly grow in regards to generational wealth, type of things that I want to teach. So I ultimately want to create a nonprofit
Mhm.
that I partner with teachers from local school systems or inner city schools and give them the opportunity to learn these things.
That is beautiful. Absolutely love it. Yes, that's amazing. I can definitely understand that and see that. And thank you for being able to share that with us. Now, do you have any upcoming interviews or anything like that that we should know about?
I will be attending the Forbes for the Culture Culturally Accountable Summit. It's not necessarily an interview, but I get to interact with people of the Forbes for the Culture platform that live in different geographical regions, some in which that are overseas that I've never had the opportunity to interact with, as well as some of the founders of the overall Forbes platform.
Awesome.
Um, Side note in regards to my Insights of Investments business,
Mhm.
for the more seasoned individuals that are of age that they don't want to take as much risk, we all just signed a contract with a financial advisement corporation, and they will be able to give the older generation direction and advisement on what index funds they can put their money into. They'll be able to invest that for them so that they can have a substantial return to be able to provide and pass down to their kids.
Wow.
So that was the biggest thing that I wanted to accomplish in 2021, and I was able to do it within the first month. So that was a blessing from God.
Yes. That is amazing. Let me tell you something. I'm so proud of you, okay? Because to be that young, that ambitious, and intuitive, and just full of drive, and on top of that, actually have a purpose behind what you're doing is absolutely amazing, especially to do it not just for yourself, but to have the collective in mind. I think that that is so amazing. And so I really do thank you for everything that you're doing. All of your services are absolutely brilliant. And so, can you please tell the viewers where we can find you?
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram, Tonio McKinley,
Mhm.
Incisive Investments, and Black Gatsby Printing. And you can also visit my personal website, I am Valentino-T.com. And it provides you with links to all of my projects, Incisive Investments, my story behind Macy's Incorporated, how I got into that, and my overall vision for my future when it comes to fashion and investing.
Awesome. Amazing. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity to be able to interview you. I'm super honored and I wish you the best of luck. And I know that you really don't need it because you're going places without that. So thank you so much.
It was both my pleasure and I would like to thank you for taking the time to interview me because your spirit, your energy, all exuberant, and God is taking you places as well. I really do thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you have a wonderful night.
You do the same.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.